So you want to know the history of the Democratic Party? This is Dan Kuda with your 3-minute overview. The Democratic Party is the world's oldest active political party. Its modern history begins in 1828 with the election of General Andrew Jackson. It dominated American government up until the election of 1860. But in that election, the party divided over the issue of slavery. Southern states voting for the Democratic candidate seceded from the Union and prompted the U.S. Civil War. The war, of course, ultimately ended black slavery and reunited the northern and southern states. But it hurt the Democratic Party for many decades, up until the Great Depression of the 1930s. The party won only 4 presidential elections during that time and controlled Congress for only 8 years. But in the depths of the Great Depression, in the election of 1932, the Democratic Party came up big. For the next 20 years, 5 presidential terms, the voters elected Democrats. Franklin Delano Roosevelt as president 4 times in a row, and then his vice president, Harry S. Truman. But 1932 also marked the beginning of a long period of Democratic control of the Congress. For most of the next 60 years, up until 1994, they controlled one or both houses of Congress. And during that time, they passed many pieces of entitlement legislation that arguably defined contemporary America. The 1990s might reasonably mark the beginning of the current political era. After that time, the voters elected Democrats Bill Clinton and Barack Obama each to 2 presidential terms. And they again expanded entitlement spending when they passed the Affordable Care Act, sometimes called Obamacare, in 2009. Democrats lost control of the House and Senate after 2010, in part because of the problems many voters saw with the Affordable Care Act. But Democrats expected to retain the presidency in 2016. But then, in a great surprise, Republican Donald Trump was elected as president, and the Republicans retained control of Congress. Now, in 2018, Democrats again regained control of the House and have almost 20 candidates ready to run against President Trump in the 2020 election. We'll see where this goes. The history of the Democratic Party continues.